All right. Welcome to the Love and Marriage Talk once again. It is an exciting season, and Nate and I are excited to be here today. Wait a minute. It looks like today is actually our 1 year anniversary since we started this talk.
Absolutely. The Love and Marriage Talk has been called in since last year, and it's such an exciting journey. It's been a lot of effort we've put in, and we're celebrating our 1 year anniversary. Woo hoo hoo! Hooray! Yay! How you feeling on our 1 year anniversary?
Um, For me, it's more of a dream come true to be able to give back to the people we love and care about, and give back to the community by sharing and encouraging and just talking about real life situations when it comes to love, marriage, and of course, family relationship
Right.
as a whole. So
Absolutely.
I'm excited. It looks like just yesterday when we decided to finally make it a thing, finally make it out there to let it be something that we so passionate about and not just keep it to ourselves. So it's a dream come true. I'm excited. Looking forward to what God has for us. Yeah, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary! And you look lovely today. You look absolutely gorgeous and beautiful.
Thank you.
Celebrating our anniversary.
And Valentine's
And
Day.
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. I mean,
Yes.
it is just such a beautiful moment to see lovebirds, rekindling their love, just going out and about, expressing passion for one another. So Valentine's Day to the couples and the married ones out there. Make sure you take the moment, with all our busy schedule. Take a moment. Appreciate your loved one, just show how much you care, how much you love them. Take them out on a date. Do something memorable to seize the occasion.
Yes. And if even I know a lot of us will be working. Today is what? Val's Day is a day falling on the weekday, so a lot will be working, might come home very late and might not be able to go out today as the Val's Day. But hey, the weekend is just around the corner, so make it count. Let it happen. Love is a beautiful thing. That's why we are here. So happy Valentine's Day to all the lovebirds out there, both those dating and to those who are already married. Those who are about to get married. Some people are marrying today, Val's Day.
Yes, yes.
Yes, so enjoy the day, make it memorable, and let it count.
All right, that's great. So, what Esther and I have been thinking about, we've seen a lot of different forms of relationships out there, but we just wanted to talk about the basics, right? Exclusive love in marriage couples. Exclusive. We brought the word exclusive to define the kind of love we're trying to address. Exclusive love in marriage couples.
Or in those who are dating.
Or in those who are dating. Esther, what do you think about that?
Love is a beautiful thing. Love is one of the components that sustains relationships. And when it comes to marriage, or even our dear friends out there who are dating,
Right.
love is one of the components that you want to make sure exist in the relationship to keep you two together.
Right.
So when we talk about exclusively loving or loving exclusively, to me, it means everything. I guess that's what you asked, right?
Yep.
To me, it means what can actually help the relationship survive.
Right. Okay.
What about you?
I mean, loving exclusively is something people who feel like they're not content with their love, you know, try to stay out of. But it's such a beautiful thing to find love exclusively and also be content with that love. You know, it's of course with maturity you become content with the love you found because I believe the love become exclusive before you say I do, right? And you move on. But it continues to stay exclusive, right? When you're content with it. That is where we're gonna dive in. You know, I think we have a lot to offer to our audience. Um, so we're gonna start with trust and security. Trust and security. You know, loving exclusively allows that trust and security to be established, you know, because both couples are giving their all, making it work through the hard times, through the down moments, through the ups and high. They are trusting each other, picking each other up, and eventually they fine tune their relationship and allows that relationship to mature to a level that can produce what security.
I like that. I like that. So basically, what Nate and I are sharing today, a day for lovers, Valentine's Day, is that when you love exclusively, you build trust and you find security. And I think I can't stress on it enough the importance of trust and security in our relationships, in our marriage, in this thing called love. So, who don't want trust? Who don't want security? I know I do, and I appreciate it to know that the man, the only man that I love, I can trust. The only man that I love, he can trust me.
Right.
The only man that I love can continually bring that security to our relationship, to our marriage. That's huge. For me, I think it's huge.
It's a big deal. But you know what is so absurd? I believe a lot of, I won't say young, but a lot of, you know, couples or people tend to get into relationship. And one thing they always talk about is security, right? But they fail to love exclusively. You know, they go out there and say, I want a woman that can, you know, provide me that security. I want a man that can provide me that security, right? But it's the component of achieving that need they're not willing to sacrifice. No, I can't just fall for, you know, one man because, you know, they might not be able to provide me all the security I need. So I'm gonna find somebody out there, you know, and that's the cycle of their relationship.
And I think sometimes it's not even falling for one man. It is more of I don't want to waste my time with one man. How about if that does not work? I want to date multiple men. I want to date multiple women. And I think that's what we're talking about here. When you go about dating, and once again, disclaimer, Nate and I are not telling you how to date out there. So that is your choice to make. But we are here to encourage. Again, we are here to share and just talk about
Right.
some of the things that makes us thick, that makes our marriage thick, that makes our relationships thick, or our relationship thick, which loving exclusively has been one of it from the day one. So yes, honey, it's true. There are a lot of people out there seeking to one day hear somebody say, you are the one. I can't live my life without you.
Right.
But these same individuals are dating multiple people.
Right.
So at the end of the day, if you're not loving exclusively, how do you even get the opportunity to have somebody love you exclusively? I think it works hand in hand, because if you were giving your attention somewhere else, if you were giving your time somewhere else, and that somewhere else is not even giving you that attention that you need, and there's one person among the three people you were dating at the same time wanting to say, hey, I think we can take this to another level,
Right.
you will lose that trust.
Because trust has not been fully established.
You can establish that trust. And I would love to say that you have celebrated a lot of Valentine's Days. I'm sure you might have in your relationship life or cycle been with one or two. We just encouraging that on this Valentine's Day 2024, if we don't share anything with you, we want to encourage you to learn to love exclusively, because out of that, you're going to get that trust you're looking for. You're going to get that security that you've been looking for. But it takes that sacrifice Nate is talking about. You would need to want to sacrifice and let go any other person. I know.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I know. It might not be easy as that, but I know. For every good thing, you need to put in the work, right?
Right.
And if you say, hey, this is us. You want to do this? I want to do this too.
I think you need to identify the person you can trust. The first step is identifying the person you can trust.
Absolutely.
And they may not have the security, right, when you met them, but as long as you trust them and you build a sustainable relationship with them, that security will eventually evolve.
And I think the security we are talking about here is security in a relationship.
Yes.
So, me sitting here right now, Nate knows that for 110%, I am secured with Esther. I know that Esther is not seeing any other man aside me, her husband. And that's the security we're talking about.
Right.
So when you are in a relationship with someone and you are dating multiple people, the question is, how do you get the security with all the four people or the multiple people that you are dating? It would take you to love exclusively, meaning be with that just one person to form that trust and security. What is the next one you think we can talk about?
We can talk about intimacy.
Okay.
Because I think intimacy has been downplayed a lot, and it takes different forms. I mean, this level of intimacy I would like us to expand on is emotional intimacy. When you love exclusively, over a time, you become in tune with the person emotionally. You see them, you sit down, your world is just lighting up. You have dialogues, you have good vibes, you feel good about yourself in their presence. These are all emotional intimacy just because you have developed trust and security with this person. But when you entertain the otherwise, right? When you entertain multiple partners, right? You go through that whole cycle and you just wondering,
Emotionally, where you
stand with them, because you're not gonna be emotionally in tune with them. Why? Because you got options. You're not truly invested in that relationship. You just circling around. So you're not gonna be emotionally connected to them because you don't want to be hurt. And the reason why you got all the options beside the one person is what?
You are not loving exclusively.
You're not loving exclusively.
And guys, we know I'll say it again. We know it's not as easy as, right? But I know that song, right? But what we're saying is emotionally, you get connected with people. When you talk about love in a relationship, a loving relationship, intimacy is one of the biggest way you get connected.
Yes.
With the person you say, I love you. So, if you are not loving exclusively, ask yourself, where do you stand when it comes to emotions with all the people you are dating? Is everybody meeting that emotional need, intimacy, wise? Or everybody picks what they want to pick to make you feel emotionally connected to them or intimately satisfied, right? So the question again is that how you want to? Is that how you want to handle this? Because I know I can't handle that. I can't go that like that because Nate and I, for instance, when it comes to emotions, sometimes your other partner or your partner does not even know what you actually need until you're spending more time and more time with them.
Right.
And you are sitting there asking yourself, so can't he see? Doesn't he feel it? So why is he not doing this? Because you're not exclusively with them. So it's off and on. It's whatever goes, right?
True.
Is however it goes. But when you turn to be exclusively with someone, loving each other, you get to know each other. And when it comes to intimacy, things solves for itself. Yes, sometimes people get tired and a lot on their minds, and so they kind of check out every now and then. But the moment they come back to the reality, oh my goodness, let me check in with my husband. Let me check in with my sweetheart. Let me check in with my girlfriend. How are they doing? It's been how many hours? Okay, I think they need me. They might be off from work. Let me go sit by them and, emotionally see what's up.
One of the things we've learned to do a lot is every now and then when you go to work and you get some lunch and you're like, man, this thing is so good. I think Nate will like that. And you take that opportunity and buy the same thing, bring it home. It's like, hey, I got you some food. Try it. I'm like, oh, thank you. The thoughts that comes in mind when you're emotionally connected with your loved one. It's just profound. Same thing, going to the store. It doesn't have to be a Valentine's Day, right? For me to get you flowers. When you come to mind, as I'm doing my grocery list, you come to mind and I see beautiful flowers displayed, especially when it's a new batch and they just brought it in. It's just beautiful. I'm like, yeah, I still will like this. Let me pick two flowers, bundle of flowers for her. It's just the thought. When you're emotionally in tune, emotionally connected, loving exclusively, these are some of the benefits that comes with it. Because your partner, your spouse, constantly is being reminded of that love, of that relationship. And they go above and beyond to show that they are present. It has a whole lot of benefits that I believe it will benefit those who are running away from that. And sometimes I think they feel trapped, right? They feel like loving exclusively is being in an entrapment where you can really flourish. But that's a lie. That is a lie. If couples truly love each other, it's so liberating. It's just that freedom you have, not thinking about what the other partner is doing in your absence, going on business trip and not having to worry about what is happening at home. The trust is there, the security is there. So you live your life with that liberation. You are free from wondering who is in your house while you're away. It's just so liberating.
And we were talking about intimacy, right?
Yes.
That's what we're talking about, right? It just dawned on me. I'm sure Someone might be out there saying, "Oh, give me a break." Intimacy. What are you talking about, intimacy? If I want it, I get it. I don't have to be intimate with anybody. That thought is out there as well, right? But what we are talking here, or what we're talking about, is when you're not in a relationship and you want to go that route. Okay. But when you are married, or when you are in relationship, or in a relationship, it makes sense. It brings you value when you can proudly put your hands on your chest and say, "That's my man." And them saying, "That's my baby. That I handle all the business intimately."
Right.
You have that joy, that satisfaction, that ownership.
Right.
Knowing that I trust, there's security, emotionally we're connected, that intimacy is there. So I'm not, like Nate said, I'm not worried, I'm not concerned. We are loving exclusively.
Correct.
And due to that, there's nothing to be worried about. And if there is, we're going to talk about it.
Don't jump the gun now, because that is our next point.
Communication.
Communication.
So we're going to talk about it with communication.
We're going to talk about it.
So if there is no loving exclusively, who care about communication? What do I have to talk to you about? There's nothing to talk about. I talk to you when I want to talk to.
Talk to you when I want to talk to.
You talk to me when you want to talk to.
I'm not available for you.
I'm not available at this time. I'm not available. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you when I get to see you. You know.
Like, why?
It's just
so much energy put in, so much resources, so much. I know that's not for me.
And I think one person is left stranded. Absolutely. One person in the relationship is left stranded because they are waiting until it's their turn. Literally waiting until it's their turn to be loved.
Hey.
Until it's their turn to be cared for.
Honey.
Until it's their turn to receive emotional intimacy.
Well, somebody's going to tell you what you're talking about, because that same person is also not loving exclusively. They are also looking elsewhere. So it's a mess.
It is a big mess.
So when it happens like that, it's a big mess. It's different when you and I are in a relationship, you and I are married, and all your head is in the game. This is my home, this is my marriage, this is my baby. It's Esther and nobody else. And Esther's here sitting thinking about Johnny down the roadside. That is when the other person gets to wait, right? Because when Esther's here thinking about Johnny on the other side, Esther's not giving 100% to Nate, okay? Because there is another relationship outside what she has with Nate, because she's not loving exclusively as Nate is loving. So then Nate is gonna be hurting. Nate has to wait for Esther to kind of come around,
right,
and say, "Hey baby, it's your turn now. What's up? What we doing for today?" Like, excuse me? I honestly think, and sometimes it dawns on me because we have 4 girls, right? And sometimes it dawns on me, I'm like, God, please, just give these girls wisdom. When they get to that age, just help them. If you're not ready, don't go out there and do it. No, don't do it.
Right.
Just don't involve yourself in relationships at a time. Relationships at a time. That's not healthy. That's not letting you love exclusively.
Right.
That's gonna turn around and hurt you, because guess what? I was sitting here last week and I was like, is it 24 hours in a day? I feel like I need more hours in the day. So those who are out there loving, but not loving exclusively in their relationship and loving someone else, how are you doing it? How are you managing it? That's a lot of work. Maybe because some of us love so hard, you put in all your eggs in one basket. But I know what I've got here, and I thank the Lord, and I pray that for everybody. But I can't ask for anything else than this, because it gives me the peace of mind knowing that Nate is all that I got. How many Valentine's Day have we spent together? Countless, and it's still going. And it feels so good to know that that's my man. That's my forever. That's it for me. It's not looking anywhere else. There's not such like that. And I know all these fingers are not the same. So situations are going to differ. But what we are encouraging every lovebird out here, whether you are married or you are in a relationship, please take one at a time. I know somebody's laughing at me. What did you just say? Take one at a time, please. Be in a relationship at a time so that you can say that I gave my all. I did my best. I loved exclusively. Unfortunately, it did not work. And sometimes it happens like that. And the Lord will bless you with the next person. But it's just the juggling with 2, 3, 4 relationships at the time. The sad thing is even for the married people, like, I'm sorry, sir, you are married. I'm sorry, woman, you are married. What are you looking out there for? Leave the other people for the single people. Leave them alone. You are married. Fix your marriage to what you've seen in that person out there. Leave the single people out there or leave the other married woman out there. Both of you are married. Come on now, what are you doing?
It's such a mess because
And it's sad.
and it's very sad. It's a lot of times I believe couples do not spend enough time, right, to fix their marriage. It's one thing you've all come together and say, hey,
This is not working.
it's not working, let's go our separate ways.
Yes.
So let's put in a divorce, let's agree to disagree and just move on. But it's a whole different thing when you fail to fix that marriage. You just you don't literally walk away.
You don't walk away.
You
You're just in another relationship, in a marriage.
You're in a whole different relationship, dipping in and out, going into that relationship, coming back to your wife or husband, going out again, coming back. It's just such a mess. You know, try to fix your marriage.
And if it wouldn't work,
If it doesn't
it's
work,
okay. You
You figure
tried.
out,
You just
work
have to
the
move
process
on.
and move on.
Instead of staying in your marriage and being in another relationship at the same time. Like, come on, guys.
It's just
It's unhealthy. And I know it's a hard topic to talk about.
it is.
It's a sensitive topic to talk about, but it's okay. That's why we are here. That's what we love to do. It's not everybody who will like what we are talking about or what we talk about, and which is fine.
And that's why there's the love and marriage talk.
It's just a talk, and you pick what would work for you, and you let what will not work, let it be. But
That really brings me to the next point, which is passion and romance.
maintaining the passion and the romance.
It's such a beautiful thing when you love exclusively because you've already laid the foundation down, right? The foundation in a relationship. You've already established that. You've worked hard to develop what? Trust
Security,
and security. So you're now vulnerable.
intimacy,
Intimacy is on point. Communication is just laid out. Every time there's any issues, you guys
talk about it.
about it. And now you have the passion and romance. I mean, it's that is the peak of any relationship.
One of to maintain
To
it.
maintain it, the passion and romance. Because if that is maintained, why are you going outside looking for something else? You know, why are you jealous about what your neighbor has? You go out there and you see beautiful women, right? Going about their day. You don't even lust for that because you have maintained what? Passion and romance in your relationship.
And someone would say, you guys, are you living in a la la land? No, we are not. And I am glad to say that when it comes to maintaining the passion and romance in your relationship or marriage, it takes two to tango. The whole 9 yards. To be in a relationship, to be in a marriage, and have a successful one, it takes two to tango.
Absolutely.
And I will be happy to say that in our marriage, it's not all the time that Nate is on point or I'm on point with maintaining the passion and the romance, but everybody got to pick up sometime. He is tired, I am tired. It got something got to give. Somebody got to pick up the slack and say, "Hey, what we doing? It looks like we are slacking here. We're losing our mojos. Let's find it. Let's look for it."
I always say, well, life happens.
Life happens.
Life happens, but life happens, and with wisdom, right? We communicate through it, and we fine tune our routines, and figure out what is going to work.
And honey, let's stay here for a little bit because I think this is one of the ways that make people go out there and stop loving exclusively because they lost their mojo, right? They lost that passion. They lost that it was passion and what romance. They lost that romance.
Okay.
I am very sure that it didn't take one day for that to be lost. It takes a lot of time to maintain your passion and romance in a marriage and in a relationship. It does not take just one day for it to say, "Oh, I woke up one day and the passion and romance in our marriage is gone." No, it did not take one day.
True.
It took time and it took people neglecting it.
That's the word. Neglecting, especially.
The signs are there.
The signs are there. It's Valentine's Day. First year one. You guys got married. It was Valentine's Day.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
You went away.
You went away.
For the weekend.
You respected the occasion, and you made time.
And what it means to you.
You made time to express your love.
To each other.
Anniversary came. You made time to express your love. The weekends came. You made time to express your love. But as time goes on, the priorities change. But when the priorities change, you still have to find out what is important to you, And that's why it says maintaining that passion, maintaining that romance in your relationship. Because if you fail to maintain it, guess what is going to happen?
You're going to lose it.
You're going to lose that.
You're going to lose it because it is not about how you build, you put it up. It's about how you maintain it. Because you can put it up in a day. And if you don't maintain it day after day, you are going to lose it.
Absolutely.
So neglecting your passion, the maintaining of your passion and romance in your marriage and relationship is dreadful. Because it is one of the things that when it's gone, it's hard to get back. You might even get it back, but the situation is not gonna be the same. Because that man went out there to find that passion and romance somewhere else. That woman went out there to find that passion and romance somewhere else. So now there's a baby coming in that house.
Don't go there yet. We're gonna get there.
Okay.
That brings us to the next point, right?
I guess it's just naturally like coming to my head.
Upholding commitment and fidelity.
Okay.
Upholding commitment and fidelity. Now go on with your point.
Okay. So like I said, naturally that's where my mind went. Like, okay, when you neglect to maintain the romance and your passion in the marriage, somebody steps out. And when somebody steps out, they forget they have a commitment to the Bonshaw family. They forget they have commitment to, you can insert your last name there. And because before you know, there's another baby coming out outside the wedlock. Not because somebody woke up one day and said, "Oh, we got married yesterday. Oh, today is the next day. And I miss my mojo is gone about our passion and our romance. So now a baby." No, it took months. It took weeks. It took months to get somebody there. And You're not only getting that passion back, they apologize. You went to therapy, you went, you made up and all that, but guess what? You can't take away that baby. That baby is in the picture and you have to accept it. You have to encourage, you have to open up your home to have a stepchild come into your home because you neglected maintaining your passion and romance in the marriage.
So, for those who just tune in with us, we talking about loving exclusively
Yes.
in marriage and in couples, right? Who
In
are
your
dating.
relationships, yes.
Loving exclusively. So we begin talking about
What it
trust
does.
and security, right? And we jumped into what? We jumped into emotional intimacy, right?
And we talked about communication.
Talked about communication and maintaining passion and romance. Now we are at upholding commitment and fidelity. This is very crucial because after you've done all the work, when you said I do, the big reception, the thousands of dollars spent on that occasion, right? Going on honeymoon.
Or CDs or Naira or whatever your currency
See, it was. You have invested into that marriage. You have invested into that relationship. The first year, the second year, the first month, the second month,
the 6th month,
the first week, the second week, whatever you have invested in,
the 20th year.
you have to uphold the commitment and fidelity. You got to be loyal. That is what we call, you got to be loyal. You got to be loyal to your spouse. You got to be loyal to your wife. You got to be loyal to your husband. You have to be loyal. You've put in all the effort. You've invested all your time and energy and resource. And you truly love each other. So why can't you continue to uphold that commitment and be, fidelity? Stay, don't dip your sauce into a pot that doesn't belong to you.
Hey, it has been belonging to them for a moment when they neglected maintaining that passion and romance in their marriage. It became theirs. Whoever was over there might not have been there, or there wasn't even nobody. This is a single person who was looking for love, and they decided to love exclusively with this married man. And now there is a baby in the scene, and that baby is coming to join this big family that has been established for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 20 years, because somebody decided that I would neglect my responsibility of making sure that the passion and the romance in my marriage is maintained. Someone is telling me, Esther, I don't know why you're being so hard on this topic, because you forgot that people change, right? Our bodies change. For instance, women, we change, and sometimes it's not easy to maintain that kind of passion and romance you're talking about. I get you. I am not saying that when you got married, you're having sex in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in the living room, in the dining room, and the 20th year, you're still doing that. Some people still do that, trust me. But I'm not saying that passion and that romance will be the same as from the first day.
But
things change.
But I think what you're saying is, although it changed, there is different way of
maintain it.
Expressing
there you
it.
Go. So what I'm saying is, I am not saying it's gonna be the same as the first day, but what Esther is saying is, yes, I understand. We have babies, our bodies changes. You want to get the finest body as you used to have, but you're working on it. It's not there yet. Trust me, I don't think if your husband is loving you exclusively, that's all that they are thinking of. What they're thinking of is make it work. Let it work one way or the other. Do something.
Put in the effort.
Put in the effort. Do something. Find a way. Find another method. Hey, we're not having sex every day of the week like we used to, 3 days a week like we used to. Come on now. Now we don't even have once. Like, what's wrong? Are you going to maintain this, or I gotta go somewhere else?
Right.
And a lot of men out there are not saying it verbally, which I think if you are a man and you are watching this and you are with your wife and they are not doing what they have to do to maintain that passion and romance, having sex with you, I'm saying, yes, Esther said it. Please open your mouth and have a conversation with them. Please talk about it. Let them know that, hey, this is important. It's needful to be done. If we are not doing it, and you are not doing it, I'm sorry, I want to do it, so what are we going to do about this?
You gotta work it out.
We have to work it out. So,
Work it out.
in as much as we think certain topics are, oh no, I don't want to talk about that, that's the same thing that takes us to where we don't want to be. And
Right.
you sit down and you're like, how did we get here? We were so intimately together. Our romance was so good. Our passion for each other was so good. I could feel you even when you were not with me or in me.
And I really think
What happened?
yes, absolutely. I really think that is how a lot of marriages or a lot of relationships
And some rocks.
comes to an end, but more so in marriages, because relationships, they can end at any given time.
It's just a
It's
relationship.
just a relationship.
We're talking about when it comes to
when
in that
it's
sense,
it's committed,
in marriage.
fully invested, where it forms a marriage, and certain things, certain
I'm sorry, forgive my tongue, okay?
certain components, essential components that are needed to enrich the marriage is just turned off. Imagine the power going out in your house for the whole year.
How are you gonna survive?
How are you gonna survive that?
And that's the power, that passion, that romance is
It's
the
the
power
power in
that
the relationship.
you had in your marriage. So
And
it
if
needs to keep
it
burning.
it goes out, yes,
That's gonna be trouble.
there's gonna be a huge trouble,
Yeah.
because you are depriving each other of essential component that allows that marriage to spark.
And I know, again, somebody will say, Esther, maybe you're young, so you're not there yet. With women, menopause sets in, and when it happens like that, you don't even have the desire to want to even have sex with your husband, or there's always a way out. Where there is a will, there is a way. So you need to, I don't know what you would decide to do, but if you really want to have an exclusively loving marriage, or you want to exclusively be loved, I'm sorry, you don't have a choice.
Got to put in the work.
You have to put in the work. You have to let it happen. You have to talk about it. I used to be able to do this. I'm sorry, I'm not being able to do that again. What else can I do to meet this need? I'm sure that husband or that wife will giggle and laugh and say, oh my goodness, you're thinking about us? I love you for that. They're just waiting for you to talk about, and that will keep them in the house. It will not let them go out, and will continually love you exclusively. And that's what we're talking about. There is peace when you are loving exclusively. There is joy when you are loving exclusively. There is happiness. Joy is better than happiness, because joy is on the highest level, right? But that bubbling in your heart and in your spirit, you see each other when you're loving exclusively, because as much as you fight, as much as you argue, you are that missing piece. They ain't got anything anywhere else. You're the only one,
I know. So let's continue. We are gonna discuss about that final source, the final component,
Okay.
creating a strong family unit. After you've done all that, after you've done everything we have addressed, trust and security.
Now, after you have the trust, you have the security, you have the emotional intimacy, you have the communication, you have maintaining the passion and romance,
upholding commitment,
and
fidelity. You are gonna have that strong family unit.
I bet you're gonna have. If you don't, then something wrong somewhere.
You are gonna create a strong family unit.
You will.
That values marriage. That values all the components of marriage.
It's not easy, but that's the uttermost. That is what
that's the
ends up.
That's the final result.
Yeah.
It's just going to be there. It's just going because both couples appreciate why they're together.
Of course.
Both couples appreciate that commitment.
Of course.
That trust. They already have a platform to discuss about whatever hardship they may be going through.
And it's funny, something just came in my mind. If your money issue, finance issue is also on the right part, then you're just gelling.
You're just gelling.
You're just gelling at this point.
And everybody is just at peace, knowing that when they go to work and come home, right, things are where it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. When they travel on business trip and come home, things are where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Everybody's at peace.
Yeah.
So I believe your family is just gonna be extremely united because you've put in those foundations
in place. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It is with Nate and I, sometimes I sit down and I think about it. If honestly speaking, having 4 girls, if we are not loving exclusively and someone is doing something they don't have to do or they don't have business doing, after all we have done, all the sacrifices, all the hard work, why are we doing this? Why are we even still there?
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of couples have to ask themselves. If you are not loving exclusively, especially if you're married,
and you have children,
and even if you don't have children, you have to ask yourself the question, why are you in the marriage? If it is not exclusively and you are doing something else outside,
then you shouldn't be involved.
You shouldn't be in the marriage. Just have your peace of mind, and you even feel better when it is all over, because then you have the freedom to do anything that you want to do out there. And if you are not married and you are looking for that person to settle with, you will make it easy for yourself if you try loving exclusively. Try it. Just try it.
And I believe for those who are married and have children, a lot of times the first place children learn relationship
is the home.
Is the home. They see their mother and father, right? Dialoguing, vibing, loving
on each other.
Mm-hmm. These are some of the emotional characters they develop. Okay. So when I get older,
this is how it's done.
This is how it's done.
Yes.
When I get married, this is how it's done. This is how I'm supposed to talk to my husband. This is how I'm supposed to talk to my wife. Mm-hmm. These are some of the character traits that can be developed at the home. But if it's all bad and you have children, what are you teaching them?
They'll learn what they see.
You are teaching them that the value of marriage is just useless.
No, what even baffles me is when folks are married and they have kids and they are not loving exclusively and they're loving somebody outside and their kids get to know. I ask myself the question, what are you doing to these children? They are looking at mommy or daddy in the same house. They still married, they're not divorced, but they're dating other people. They're talking to somebody else. You're showing them how they should not be faithful in their relationship. So it's not just what you are doing, but you got to think about the children around you. You're letting them know that it's okay to be unfaithful because they know who is mommy talking to? Is that daddy? No, that's not daddy. Who are you talking about? What you are wearing to? And they hear a man's voice.
And it's so absurd because now the price, you defaming marriage, you defaming good.
You minimizing the pride of being married or being in an exclusive relationship.
It's so absurd. It's just
it's very
mind-boggling,
sad.
and it's sad. It's a very unhealthy space.
And like we're saying, I
To
know it's a
raise
hard
children.
topic to talk about, but it's some of the stuff that we need to be able to sit down and talk about and know that it's not right, and be able to find how we can solve that. And like we're saying, the only way we can solve some of these things is just making sure that we are maintaining that passion and romance, making sure that that trust and security is not breached, making sure that we're communicating, because if something don't sit right with you, please, I'm not trying to be out of this marriage. So if Nate that's something that doesn't sit right with me, we're talking about it.
We're talking about it.
No.
Absolutely.
If he says I'm tired, I don't want to hear. Okay, you have 30 minutes, 10 minutes. Go rest. But we're gonna talk about it.
Before the day ends,
We're gonna talk
we
about
are
it
having a
because
dialogue.
I don't have anywhere to go. I am not saying that I cannot love elsewhere, but I am saying I am exclusively loving you, and you are it for me. You continue to be it for me. So if something is not right, we need to fix it.
Yes.
And I think people should just get to that point of putting things on hold and letting it bubble and bubble up, and before you know, it's become something very huge.
And for this Valentine's Day,
Mm-hmm.
I'm encouraging our audience just to make marriage a priority. For those who are married, just make it a priority.
Loving exclusively.
Love exclusively. Be intentional in
Yes.
your loving. Be intentional in your trust so that you can build that security. Be intentional in your communication. But Esther, I wanted you to read this final part. Read that for us so that we can.
So it says that exclusive love is a fundamental aspect of a successful and fulfilling marriage. By prioritizing each other's needs, communicating effectively, upholding your commitment as a husband and a wife, as spouses, maintaining your passion and your romance is important. Creating that strong family unit, married couples can experience the joy and the longevity that exclusive love brings. Embracing exclusive love brings couples to build a deep emotional connection and navigate life's challenges. A lot of them. You and I know there's a lot of life challenges together. And not just together, intimately.
Together.
Come on now. Come on, do it. You know you want to do it. Yes. So together, not just together, but intimately. You get the bonus of that, leading to a happier and more satisfying marriage. And I would add relationship. Because if you do this in your relationship, the probability that you're married, you're going to end up in a marriage,
It's extremely high.
is high. So guys, it's not just that, oh, Esther and Nate are just talking gibberish. No, there is value in loving exclusively, guys. There's so many benefits, whether you're married or you are single and you're in relationship. It will take you closer to your goal because you get to think exclusively, act exclusively,
And do exclusively.
give exclusively, all the above exclusively. So happy Valentine's Day to you guys. Happy Valentine's Day to you all out there, all over the world. Enjoy today. Celebrate one another. It's not easy to love, guys. No, it's not easy to love. But when you decide to build your love on solid foundation like loving exclusively, trust me, it's not easy, but you're going to have that joy, that benefit. Honey, you want to do this?
All right.
We get to celebrate virtually with you all. We wish we could be in the same restaurant celebrating together, but happy Valentine's Day to love, to healthy and happier marriages and relationship. And to our listeners and viewers out there, God be with you. God bless you. Give you wisdom and the strength to love exclusively. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.